I think the sustainable aquaculture sector is growing, and it's definitely a model that other proteins can learn from in terms of the collaborative nature in which the various industry partners, NGO community, investment community is coming together to take a step back and think about how we can produce food in the most sustainable way and thinking about ecological impacts. I think traditional protein production has been improving, but there's a long way to go in terms of making sure that it's continuing to improve on practices. And I think the sustainable aquaculture sector is actually asking the right questions and bringing the right parties together to make sure that we have a solution that is sustainable for our future.
When facing the difficult question of how to feed a growing population in a climate change world, one quickly realizes that no group has all the answers. If we want to create the future we need to work with everyone. So bringing together environmental groups like Nature Conservancy and WWF, bringing together people who've worked at the UN, scientists, feed companies, producers, finance people, innovators, bringing them all together in a workshop on the future of aquaculture is the only way that we can see ourselves finding pathways that it will actually work.
Yeah, I think that understanding the challenges that aquaculture faces and finding solutions to those challenges really takes the collaboration of people throughout the entirety of the supply chain. So everybody from the people on the ground growing things to people at the other end of the chain, you and I at the grocery store buying the things that are grown.
So collaboration is fundamental and key to aquaculture, and I think that is actually echoed across different sectors. I worked in the fisheries world for a really long time, and collaboration of stakeholders is important, but I've seen, at least in the aquaculture space, that's even tenfold. I've worked with more industry and NGOs and other academics more in the aquaculture space now than I ever did in fisheries. And I think that speaks a lot to how motivated and interested people are of pushing and accelerating this kind of sustainable mode for aquaculture, much more so maybe than other food systems.
I think collaboration among producers, stakeholders, and different groups that are involved in aquaculture is very relevant. First of all, because aquaculture is a new sector, it's a comparatively new sector. Let's say the last 30 years it's becoming a very important food production sector and good quality protein production sector. And the collaboration is very important because some species and some groups of species and different countries have learned some lessons, and the good lessons have to be shared, also the bad lessons, because there have been mismanagement and perhaps the management that is not very optimal. And we are learning how to address that. We are learning how to change our own behavior. And the collaboration really allows that, allows to share this good information, and also to improve the understanding of aquaculture, understanding the diversity of ecosystems where aquaculture is produced in the different continents. So consumers can see aquaculture as a diverse sector, but it's a sector that is altogether trying to achieve better standards.